Hi, I'm Logan Hickey.
And I'm Robertson, also known as the cutie with a booty, also known as uh, 30 and flirty,
You're not 30 yet. I'm closer to 30 than you are.
but I'm flirty.
And this is Quick Call an Adult, the podcast where we take questions from our friends, family, loved ones, and listeners and ask them to each other on the podcast and see what weird and strange answers we can get, sometimes with as little tangents as possible.
Trying to do as little tangents as possible.
Just attempting. Today we're going to start off with some light Christmas fun because I know some folks want to wait a little bit longer for Christmas. So we have a little bit of that generic-y feel to some of the present questions with really one
Present
real Christmas
questions?
one, I guess. No, two real Christmas ones. We'll start you off
Yeah.
light.
And I won't start singing the carols quite yet.
No. And in case you didn't hear our previous podcast, Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You Can Go to Hell.
So we'll be doing our own version.
No.
No.
I believe I started last week, so it is you, my friend.
Yes. Well, I got a fine little question coming to you, red and hot. I was talking with someone, and we were talking a lot about like when to do laundry, how long to wait with it, and they were asking, "What about groceries? Like, how often do you normally go for groceries, and when's a good amount of time to plan for?"
Fortunately, right now I'm living at my parents' house until I get another apartment in Toronto in the new year. So I haven't had to purchase groceries in a while. Thank goodness. Praise my wallet. But when I was living out of the home, I would probably go about once a week. Try to stretch it to maybe once every 2 weeks or so, with occasional like small pickups if I run out of like bread or something on the way home. But always conveniently, meaning like I would plot my way home from like school or work and be like, whatever is the nearest grocery store, I'll just pop in, pick up what I need, and then take it home with me.
Yeah, that's smart. I always like living near one, or at least having one on the way, because yeah, same reasons. But I would agree. I try to, at the very least, plan for 1 week. Now, I will say it is hard because being a celiac and having no choice in the matter, my bread is freaking expensive and teeny weeny. So on the off chance I have to go like twice in a week, it's usually because I've been obsessed with grilled cheese and I've annihilated a couple loaves of bread. So I eat a lot of bread. Okay. But yeah, so like primarily once a week. I'm also lucky that I have found a grocery buddy who really helps me. So we go do massive loads and we help bring each other's stuff back. And then we're usually set for about 2 weeks. And that's been working out pretty well.
Well, that's the other thing too, is it depends on whether or not you like have access to a vehicle. So like you wouldn't want to go once every 2 weeks if you have to take the subway or a bus home or even a taxi, really, because or Uber. I guess Uber's not bad, but then you're adding an Uber cost on top of groceries, right?
Yeah.
But if you go like once every 2 weeks, you're theoretically buying a big chunk of stuff. So you don't want to try to attempt to lug that back on the freaking bus or subway. People give you dirty looks.
Oh, totally. No, I definitely like. Huge shout out to my good friend Sarah. Thank you for A, putting up with me, being a grocery buddy, B, driving me there and back. I really appreciate it. But also, I will say, flip side of having a grocery buddy, I didn't need as many mini cookies as I bought. But we both thought it'd be really fun to have that many mini cookies.
We likes the mini cookies.
They're so good. And see, like, I'm bad at instigating myself on my own. But then when I'm out with my friends, and like like my friends are so positive. I love all of my friends. And they're like, unfortunately, we all have the mindset of, if you stand there and you're like, oh, should I get a chocolate donut? It's like, live your life. Get those chocolate. Get 2 boxes. Why stop at the chocolate? Get some of the cinnamon ones as well.
Oh, like, God.
Get all the boxes.
Give yourself
it's so much
diabetes.
positivity. Yeah, and so we're all sitting there like bellies out like Cheeto dust on our shirts, and we're just like, what have we done?
Yeah, that's totally fair. My first question of the day:
Yes.
what age does money as gifts stop?
Never, I think. Honestly, like sometimes okay. Yeah, I think it never really does go out of style because sometimes when I'm buying gifts for friends or doing something like that, like my brother, I really wanted to buy him Hollow Knight because my brother loves
Mhm.
Metroidvania type stuff. Uh, but I was kind of like, I don't know if he's got the time. He's a teacher. He's really busy. So I just gave him the money for it. And I'm like, hey, if you got the time, this is what I was going to buy for you. So like if you end up buying the game yourself, just give a nod to me because I gave you the money. But if not, like I get you don't have the time, spend it on supplies for your classes or something or whatever you genuinely need. Because I also can't gift it to you because PSN doesn't allow that for some reason.
Oh,
Well,
weird.
he ended up buying it and it was great, but like and sometimes my family will just be like, I know you're probably going to get a tattoo here. And so it's just like little things of, I don't think it ever does. It's hard to get gifts for adults.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It all depends on if you have the income for it, right? And like sometimes just a card will do, but I would say, I mean, a lot of people feel money is thoughtless. What I think is we are in a place and time in the world where not a lot of people have a lot of money. So money as gifts for special events probably will go very far because, like I personally, I prefer money over a gift card because a gift card I can't put on my student debt, right?
Fair.
Like, or because sometimes just with the economy the way it is, sometimes it can be difficult to make your bills or treat yourself. And if all of a sudden you got a little bit of extra money, you can either buy something for yourself or put it down on some extra student debt that
Mm-hmm.
and help get that down a little bit. So I don't think it ever really goes out of style. Um,
No. And like sometimes, well, yeah, like the generalized gift card of like, I got you something to HMV. And you're like, does that exist anymore? But then there is one time, my parents actually, shout out to my parents, they are obsessed with making everything fair between my brother, sister, and I to the dollar, which is incredible. I don't know how they've done it. They've done it for all the years the three of us have been in existence since we were freshly popped. But there was one year where it was a bit off, so they gave me a gift card to the grocery store, and that was so useful, and I appreciated it so much. I was
mhm.
able to get extra mini cookies.
I love that. You and your mini cookies.
They're good, okay, and they're weirdly cheap. It was funny. I was looking. I was like, I could get kind bars for like five for like $6, or I turn and there was 6 mini cookie packs for $2. I was like, and they were gluten free. I did that.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I also got uh the little Jello fruit cups because I haven't had those since I was literally a toddler, and I got to reunite with my inner child for a hot 2 seconds while I devoured some Jello yogurt.
That's so funny.
Yogurt? What? Jello fruit cups?
I knew what you meant. I like
Sorry, I.
I like the actual fruit cups that have like the fruit cocktail where it's like you
Oh,
have like a
those are
little
so
maraschino cherry, some pineapple, and whatever the
good.
other fruit
Ooh,
is in it, and you
okay,
just
I'm
like
putting that on the
shot
next
it back.
grocery list.
Yeah. And you feel like it doesn't feel bad because you're like, it's sweet, but it's fruit, so it's got to be good for me.
Right? I love justifications that yeah, I'm like eating the Jello. I'm like, I mean, there is like little fruit at the bottom, so can't go wrong.
I love it. I love it. And your question,
And now,
sir?
yes, on to the next one, which is, are you a early morning person or a late night person?
Ooh, that depends. I can flip between the two. I just need a transition period between.
Mm,
Because like I'm totally down to wake up at like 8 a.m. every day or earlier and start my day and do my day. It's funny because I feel more productive if I wake up earlier because the daylight hour for some reason to me feels more productive. Um, And I always find like if I wake up late, even though I stay up later as a result, um, I feel like I've lost time for some reason. But I can flip between the two. Like I've worked midnights, which involves waking up late, as you might imagine. I've worked early morning shifts where I've got to commute far for it. So if I had to pick one, I would probably say um, early morning, just because of the more daylight hours for that whole like what vitamin D on your skin and whatever.
Oh yeah.
I just feel more productive during the daylight hours, less lethargic.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally understand that. Like I I have had a screwed up sleep schedule ever since I was a midnight security guard for a year and I was only awake at night. And then it just my brain was like, "What?" But then I got my sleep schedule back cuz I was working quite a bit uh during the summer months. Very luckily, I don't know how I managed to swing that, but I was working a lot. So it was always early mornings. I have since ruined that and I am back. Actually no, I just realized I can say I'm an early morning person because I'll usually go to bed at about 5 a.m. So
Mhm.
does that count as early morning person?
No, I would say that is
Yeah,
definitely a late night person.
definitely late night. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just like because like I'll still wake up at a decent time, but it's just there's something about just going for like late night walks, watching the sun fall down. Like you always get the good conversations late at night when you're sitting around the campfire with some friends, of course, throwing back to the Alberta days. But I don't know. There's just I like staying up late.
I like it. I like it. Yeah,
It's good.
you know, late night's fun. You get the weirder gamers. No, late night is better for gamers.
Yeah, and I'm an elite game. That's a lie. I'm not.
Sometimes I think like I wish that I was like elite gamer because you get sponsored and shit. But at the same time,
True.
it takes a lot of skill and time
Yeah.
to put into that. It's like any skill, and people who think that gaming is easy, it's not, because when you get to a certain tier of gaming, it is so competitive, and you actually
Mm.
need to spend the time doing it. Like,
Yeah. It's also stressful and it takes the fun out of it, in my opinion. I don't know. I play games to relax. If it was my job, I feel like when I would finish work, I wouldn't be like, oh, well, I'm gonna go throw on a game and just try to relax and be like, I just played games for like 8 hours. I don't want to play anymore. And it would take it away from me.
yeah, that's totally fair. Swagway,
Swag.
shift back into holiday mode. And I'm going to say, when I say holiday in this question, I'm going to say any family holiday. So it
Oh.
could be like Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, any family holiday here. So
Yeah.
have you ever brought a significant other home for the holidays, and how do you prepare for that?
Yes, I have done that. Um, yeah, I was in a long-term relationship, and we reached that point where it was like, hey, because we had both moved here, and it was at the conversation where it was like, you know what, this is going to be a thing. Let's we should probably fly home and meet each other's families, spend some time there. And my family, if y'all think I'm bad, just wait till you get the five of us together. We are insanity incarnate. Like my mother is just absolutely insane and it bled down through all of us, and my papa, he puts on a good face, but oh, when the rest of us get going, he can go bonkers as well. Like we're nuts. So it was a lot of FaceTimes, it was a lot of phone conversations, a lot of me reminding her, hey, my family's actually not sound of mind, and just like easing her into it. And I will say there was I ended up having to we oh my god, sorry, this is a long story, but we ended up having to go sooner than we thought because there was unfortunately a passing in my family, and I had to go. And she was very kind, and she came and supported me in that. So she got to come and meet my family, and this is going to sound weird the way I word this, but in something that was more than just us. So it wasn't like the focus was, hey, we're meeting Rob's girlfriend. It was more like, hey, thank you for coming and supporting us. So it really connected everyone in a different way than just having it all the focus on her. It was more like, hey, thank you for supporting us in what we are going through. So it was a nicer, easier transition. We also view passings as like, we like to celebrate the memory of them as opposed to
Hmm.
dwell in the grief of it all. So it was more of like, she just came, we had our moments to tell the stories, get a bit sad, and then we popped champagne and told the fun memories of all the times that we had sitting around together. So it was a nice, easy transition into it.
I love that. Personally,
Yeah.
when I die, I want to be cremated, plan everything beforehand, and prop me up in the bar, and like put me in the bar and have a bunch of drinks or something, like celebrate. Celebrate. I hate funerals. I think they're uh, overly expensive for no fucking reason. Uh,
Yeah.
and when I die, I want to plan everything ahead of time myself, right down to, and I want it like ironclad. I don't want anybody to interfere with the plan. It's going to happen as soon as I die. My body's just going to go get cremated, put me in a freaking pine wood or cardboard box. Like, don't be spending any fancy freaking monies on me. And like either put me in the ground or whatever. Like, I want people to celebrate. I don't want like, and I want people to have a good time. Yes, there'll be mourning,
Yeah.
but I don't want it to be just like a down time for everyone.
Yeah. I have mine planned out.
Oh,
I
really?
see. I have led a very excessive life. I think we can both say that much for certain.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
so, yeah, I want to go out excessively too. So I was like, I leaned into this whole Viking heritage thing pretty hard already. Might as well go the full way. So when I go, y'all are slapping me on a boat, pushing me out on the North Saskatchewan, and like all my friends and family got to be shooting fire arrows at me, see who hits me first, and then go to a dance studio and just have a dance battle. That's going to be my funeral.
That's great.
I'm
Um,
going out as excessively as I lived.
that's funny. Um, yeah, no, I've brought a significant other home. It's interesting navigating family functions as a gay man because you have to think, at least in the beginning of it all, you have to think, okay, who's going to be there? How many people am I going to have to explain to who this person is that I'm bringing?
Mm,
Am I outing myself at that point? Like, am I ready to be out in a public sense that way? When it comes to like my immediate family, I think the first time I brought them home, I was nervous, but it was like, hey, I'm dating this person. I would like you to meet them because I care about them. And then really, it wasn't much of a big deal. They were just a person we brought home and made feel welcome. Now, the first time it was a bigger family function, I was like, okay, uh, I'm just gonna. There's a little apprehension there. Like, I just got to walk into it, and if anybody asks, just state who it is. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not. When I bring somebody home to a family function, I'm bringing them because they're a part of my life, and I want to share this other aspect of my life with them.
yeah.
So you just kind of do it.
Hmm.
Like, um, there's that extra sort of apprehension because you don't know if that one relative who happens to be a homophobic asshole is going to be there or not, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's a little bit different, I think, when you're gay and bringing someone home versus like a straight person. Um, and of course, there is a certain amount of probably explaining things to either your significant other or your family because uh, you're biased. You're gonna probably, hopefully, like your family anyways, and vice versa. You're gonna like your partner anyways.
Hmm.
So like because you're introducing a whole new person with a whole new dynamic and whatever.
Yeah.
And I think you also should at least on the significant other side of things potentially lay some ground rules. Um,
Mm.
like when you're having somebody over, I would suggest not having sex all around the house, um, all around your parents' house. Um,
Yeah.
so and it depends on like if both of your love languages, for example, are touch. Um, just remember that you're surrounded by people, so like you should not be constantly caressing each other at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Well, I
No,
mean, sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I was just getting excited. Um, yeah, I suppose I kind of have the extra added bonus of, I mean, me myself, I only go home Usually I can unfortunately only swing it like once a year. So they, whoever I'm with gets a long time to kind of get prepared. They have to deal with me for God's sake and like build it up. And because I'm such a simpleton, like my family's usually just so excited that someone's decided to put up with me that they're just going to treat them well anyway.
Yep, that's valid. And I mean, like my mom's always said that as long as we have somebody who treats us well, and she'll be happy. Um, my dad says the exact same thing. You know, as long as you got a partner, I think what matters is as long as you have a partner who treats you well and is kind to you, and kind to your family because they're an extension of you, then great. Um,
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with that.
Oh yeah, totally.
But again, like, oh, and to anybody who is listening who may be part of the LGBTQ plus community, when you bring a partner home for the first time, yes, that will be nerve wracking. That might be scary, might be very scary. But just remember that at the end of the day, uh, they're your partner, and if you care about them and they care about you, um, be proud that you have somebody who's got your back and who's a part of your life. Um, and if people give you shit, then you should consider whether or not they should continue being in your life, not the partner, but those family members, because um, you should feel comfortable bringing your partner home regardless of the setting.
Yeah.
That's my little two
See,
cents
you
on
should
it.
be like, you should be able to share what you are passionate about, what you care about, what you love, who you're passionate about, who you care about. You should be able to share that without risk or fear of being like, well, anything, without fear of anything. And I very much believe that. And just know that at the end of the day, we here at Quick Call an Adult, we love you and we support you, and we will come to the playground and beat up any of the kids that say otherwise. So
Yep,
better watch out.
100%.
Better not cry. You better not pout. I'm
You better
telling you
not
why.
white.
You better not. I
What's that even mean?
segue. What's the next question?
It's yours, so you tell
Oh
me.
shit! I don't. Okay, I don't talk properly. My brain works too quickly.
That
Like
is okay.
by the time the words are coming out, my brain's on the next sentence. So I don't. Anyway, speaking of, wow, there was like 7 segues and none of them were okay. Speaking of segues, how many ornaments is too many? So once again, I'm gonna go with any holiday. Let's go Halloween. Let's go Christmas. Let's go Robertson's Day. Any holiday where you want to celebrate something
That
and
took
put
me
up
a moment.
ornaments.
It's like
I wonder how.
Robertson's Day.
Yeah, everyone else probably sitting at home is like, "All right, Robertson's Day, my favorite one," and it's my favorite one. I couldn't tell you why, but it just makes me feel good. But how many ornaments is too many ornaments?
If the tree cannot hold itself up, you've put on too many ornaments. Uh,
Yeah.
it's hard to say because, like, for us, every year at Christmas we get a new ornament, which my mom's like. We open at Christmas Eve, and my mom's goal is so that when we eventually move out and have our own Christmas trees in our own place with our own ornaments, we will have a stock of ornaments for our tree. So we already
Aw.
have, a bunch of ornaments that are relevant to our lives
Yeah.
and our family gatherings ready for a Christmas tree. But I would say to anybody who's like, don't get me wrong, if you're super anal about every ornament needs to, like, we can only have this many ornaments and there have to be certain, like, spaced and designed, whatever, that's great. That can be your Christmas tree. For us, it's kind of a clusterfuck. It's like we have a whole variety of ornaments from a literally, how old am I? 27, 2.5+ years of family Christmases. Did I say 2.5+?
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
you
that,
did.
does that make sense? No.
No.
I was
I
going to say
mean, I
two
don't
and a
know.
half plus decades, not two and a half
Oh,
plus Christmases. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna be
Uh,
honest. I had a moment where you. I was like, You've only been doing family Christmases for 2 years?
Oh my lord. 2.5+ decades of family Christmases that are on our tree. So like our tree probably is a little bit more crowded than other people's trees, and that's totally fine. And if by ornaments you also will extend to decorations, I would
Yeah, I
say
realized as I was explaining, I was like, I mean both, and I'm not saying both.
I would say as many decorations as you are happy with, that is not the
Yeah.
equivalent of a hoarder. If you cannot find your cat because they're buried under Christmas shit, you probably should have less decorations or be featured on a house of or an episode of a Hoarders.
Yeah, it's like I always say to my students, don't do anything that's bad unless there's a camera and it's funny. I also want to point out I don't actually say that to my students. That's a lie. I don't believe you should do bad things, even if it's funny.
And Robertson just got fired.
No, I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. But no, I totally agree. Like, do whatever makes you happy. Like, what my family does is, we like to we pull out the drinks, get a bit verschnicked, and then we go out and we start putting up the decorations. And my we usually get to the point where my dad and I look at each other and we're like, oh, we should probably go inside. And it's like, yeah, we should probably just do that. And then we go inside, and then it's like, usually my sisters just come, like, we walk in, my sister's completely done the tree, and she's like, what the hell were you guys doing out there for so long? We just go, I don't know. What were you doing in here? So honestly, like, all the power to you. Do as many decorations as possible. Once again, if you can't find your house, maybe pull back a couple of them so you can at least find the door. But like, as I was saying before, whatever makes you happy is all that matters, because no one else has to live your life. So make sure that your life is the happiest for you as possible, because fuck the haters. You can't see it, but I'm dabbing right now.
I love that. A little dab.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like whenever you say fuck the haters, you got to end it with just a quick one.
Just a quick little boop, little dab.
There's a little, hiya. Oh my God. I almost whacked the iPad out of my hands. That was really scary.
That would not be good. So for my last question,
drum roll. I realize you can't hear me hitting my legs. So I'm trying to. It's not okay. Stop.
It is. When is the right time to start listening to Christmas music? Is after Halloween too soon? So it's kind of two questions in one.
I say, well, like the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what I like to do is I like to start, and I admit, also, because like I have a weird relationship with holidays. So I usually start listening to it when I go home, because for me, that's really when the Christmas season starts for me, and I start feeling it, is when I go home and I walk in the door and you got Burl Ives playing throughout the whole house. My dad usually has a fire going. Once again, the drinks are on the table and they're like, let's go out and start setting up some stuff. Another great thing about Edmonton versus like Toronto, it was freaking raining last night, and I was out in a t-shirt. Edmonton, a week ago or whatever, they got 2 feet of snow. So I say, once again, like, I mean, wait a couple weeks. Once again, maybe like mid-November, start blasting it, throw it in people's faces, because you might get some people upset if it's before then. But if it makes you happy, fuck it, do it.
Agreed. I say there's some people who I know who have Christmas playlists year round. I think that is totally fine. I don't think Christmas music should be limited to one time of the year if it makes you happy. I do think that retail locations should not be playing Christmas until mid to late November, because I know that there's a difference between like leisurely listening to Christmas music versus being forced to listen to Christmas music for 8 hours at a time. And again, I know I've shouted them out before, but I need to shout out retail workers, especially during this time of the year, because your lives become hell. I technically work retail again now too as well. So, like having first had multiple years of firsthand experience with retail, just freaking be kind to the people, please. And
Yes.
especially because this year tensions are going to be so much higher with the pandemic going on. Um,
Yeah.
that just like give people space, let them have a breather if they need to. Um,
Mhm.
and remember that they have probably been listening to Christmas music for at least 2 hours, most likely before you got there. And that's probably not going to be okay, especially if they're mid December and it's already been a month.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't even listen to my favorite artists like 8 hours a day for 2 months. I couldn't do it.
No, exactly. Exactly. Like variety is the spice of life. And
Yeah.
you know what? If
And life is
some
spicy. So get that. Never mind. Say what you were gonna say.
and if for some reason in the middle of I was going to say October, but that's close to Christmas. If for some reason in the middle of like July you get a little bit of an itch for Christmas music, put it on your iPad and or iPhone, iPod, MP3, whatever player your music is on, and listen to it. Like crank it out on Spotify, but just
Yeah.
be aware that some people might start having like anxiety over that because they don't like Christmas. So
Yeah.
keep it on your headphones.
Yeah. And like once again, there are people like me who have trouble with holidays. And so sometimes people, if you can't handle Christmas music, it's not because you're being a stink. It's just because there's extenuating circumstances that people don't know about it. And kind of flashing back to what you said about retail workers, there is kind of a pandemic going on. Please be safe. Please give people space. I hear 6 feet is a pretty good one to start. Like, please, just if you're thinking of going out, if you're thinking of going to retail workers, if you want to go grab those sales, like at least consider doing it online. Like,
You'll find
please,
out
just
who has curbside pickup still.
yeah. And like, I'm looking at all of you, and gosh, you look good. And
Oh
like,
God.
I want everyone to experience the beauty that is you. And I just want to make sure that you're safe this holiday season because I see that little smile there, and it's special because you're special. So I just want you all to be safe. Okay? Okay? Thank
Okay.
you. Jesus Christ. Don't make me come over there.
You're welcome.
Are you Jesus Christ?
I am.
The one and only Jibba Cribba?
Well, thank you for tuning in. If you've made it this far and actually stuck to the end with us, thank you. We appreciate you immensely. Please follow
Also,
us.
wow.
Also, wow. Please check out our YouTube channel. Follow us on our Facebook page. Subscribe to and like whatever podcast channel that you happen to be listening to it on, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And as always, you can send us an email at quick.colonadult@gmail.com, where you can reach us at any time. We are always happy to hear your questions and answer them on our lovely show.
But whether you be going for a walk or you're just sitting to hear people talk, this is Robertson and Logan. We're caring about you because you care about us, and just because you deserve someone to care about you. I'm sending you smooches, and I wish I could be cuddling you right now.
That's creepy. Toodles. That's your line.
Toodles! How
Bye.
dare you? Bye. I mean, Toodles. Shit.